after being decimated and devastated by the likes of Jimmy Carter. Ronald Reagan was the right man at the right time. Plain and simple. Now, will this be the case for Donald Trump? Is he the right man at the right time? I don't know. I'm not a I can't prestidigitator is a musician. I'm not a fortune teller. I cannot see. I'm not a psychic. I can't see into the future. But I tell you what I will do. It's still too early, but and I'm not trying to be one of those people. Hey, I was the first one to tell you. If Donald Trump actually wins the presidency, I'm not. I don't care if I'm one of the first people that predicted that Donald Trump was going to be in the White House. I told you this way back. I'm not one of those kind of people. I can't see into the future like that. I have to analyze stuff and think logically about it. And right now, I think it's kind of soon to try to. They're not even done getting everybody into the race that is possibly going to jump into the race. I'm not talking about the Republicans now. I'm talking about the Democrats. And that, Joe Biden is thinking about getting in now. And I don't know if he's going to get in or not. But I don't think this whole draft Biden thing, I mean, people better stop and you Democrats better stop and really think about what you're asking here. You folks tried to portray Bush as being a dumb hick. I got to tell you, there is lots of video and lots of tape that'll be rolled on Joe Biden to show just how much of an idiot, foot in mouth daily type of person that guy is. Why do you think that it took him longer than I thought it was going to take him? But after a while, the White House just finally said, you know what, we got to shut Joe up. This guy is, open mouth, insert foot daily. You haven't really heard much from Joe Biden over the past few years. Why? Because he's an idiot. And I know there are some people out there who don't like me calling our political leaders idiots. Well, I call it like I see it. If you don't like it, then don't listen to me. I'm sorry, but the truth is that we've got, and it's not just him goofing up once or twice. It's constantly saying stupid, idiotic stuff that even an amateur, the first time on the, trying to be a politician, wouldn't make these kinds of mistakes. And this guy has been in public, quote unquote, serving the public for decades. You would think he would have learned, but you think his handlers would have learned how to handle him, so he wouldn't make these kind of amateurish type of stupid mistakes. It's idiocy on display. Sorry. But will he jump into... Look, I hope he does. Because it'll be, Tweedledee against Tweedledum against Tweedledummer. I'm talking, bringing in the guy from Vermont there, the socialist from Vermont, Bernie Sanders. He's hurting Hillary something awful. And I think Biden is just only going to split all their votes. That's fine with me. And then maybe, I know it would never happen. Only Republicans seem to want to, hey, if Joe Biden gets into the race and they don't nominate him, I'm not going to vote, said no Democrat ever. But I got to tell you, we got some idiots on the Republican side that are around there saying, if Rand Paul or if Ted Cruz or if Marco Rubio or insert any name you want is not nominated, then I don't know what's wrong with this party and I'm not going to vote. Yeah, we got those kind of idiots on the Republican side. And yeah, that's idiocy, and they're acting like idiots. Again, somebody out there is not liking that I use that word, but hey, I call it like I see it. But it's because you don't get the Democrats out there saying, well, if Joe Biden or if Hillary Clinton isn't the nominee, I'm going to stay at home. I'm not going to vote. No, they're going to go out there and vote for whoever the damn Democratic nominee is. Because they're going to make sure that it's their guy is in the Oval Office. Even if they don't look, you will get Democrats who hate and don't like Hillary Clinton at all voting for her because that will keep an evil Republican out of the White House. But on the Republican side, we got these people who think, well, People understand that this guy is the only guy. He's the only candidate who can straighten this country around. And if they don't elect him, then they don't deserve to have my vote. And I'm not voting for him. Well, how'd that work for you the last presidential election? We got Obama again. Well, that's because the American people are too stupid to understand. Well, evidently you're including yourself in that, because we all told you that if you did not vote, that Obama was going to win. And that's what happened. But you don't get Democrats saying that. I'm going to keep pounding this until you people out there who are so tied to one particular candidate. I don't know why that is. Well, as much as I liked Ronald Reagan, there is no, if I was old enough to vote, there was no way in hell I would have said, well, if Ronald Reagan isn't the nominee of the Republican Party, I'm not going to vote. There's no way in hell I would have done that. That makes absolutely no logical sense. Hey, for those of you who didn't like Ronald Reagan, I guess we would have been better off with a second term of Jimmy Carter. Is that what y'all are saying? Because really, that is what you're saying. That evidently, you dislike the entire Republican field except for your particular candidate so much that you would rather see Hillary Clinton as president than anybody else on the Republican ticket right now. I mean, I would rather see Lindsey Graham as president than Hillary Clinton. Now, I know I've been on I've given speeches and I've told people that I know who I don't want to be the Republican nominee, and I said Jeb Bush, but there's one other person that I want less than Jeb Bush, and he doesn't have a chance anyway, but I'm just telling, Lindsey Graham is at the bottom of my list. But I got to tell you, I would rather see President Lindsey Graham over a President Hillary Clinton any day. So if you're telling me, if you're a Republican or a conservative, and you're telling me that if your candidate of choice is not nominated, that you would rather see Hillary Clinton as president over any other Republican person on the Republican ticket right now, you are an idiot. Plain and simple. That's how we got Barack anyway, because people say, well, we just don't like John McCain. You know what? Yeah, I had to hold my nose, but I voted for John McCain because I knew that Barack Obama would be a huge mistake. And guess what? I was right, along with millions of other Americans who probably held their nose and voted for John McCain because they'd rather see President McCain than a President Obama. Again, it came around. I'd rather see a President Romney over a President Obama, but enough of you out there seem to think that it was better to have Obama as president than Romney. I don't know. Look, this is why I am not going to endorse any. I know people keep asking me. Look, let me just make one thing very clear. I am not going to endorse any candidate until we have a nominee. I don't know how much of a sway I have with people or how much of a sway I don't have with people. I don't particularly care. I'm just not going to play that game. Each one of the candidates, well, most of them, they have their positives and they have their negatives. There isn't a perfect candidate among any of the 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever the number is. There isn't a perfect candidate among them. None of them are perfect. There are some that I like better than others, obviously. But again, I think Lindsey Graham would be the last. Well, actually, I think that Mark. It'd be a tie between Mark Everts or something like that. And I can't remember. Well, anyway, the IRS guy. It'd be. I'd rather see him as president than Hillary Clinton. Yeah, he's on the bottom of my list, and I would rather see him than Hillary. Hey, No, he's, somebody's probably going to ask, well, he's a moderate and he likes the IRS and blah, blah. Well, yeah, but you know what? I don't know what else to say. So far, anybody on the Democratic ticket, other than possibly the guy on the Democrat side that has no chance, Lincoln Chafee, none of those Democrats would be any good for this country if they were elected. None of them. Except maybe Lincoln Chafee. But he's such a weak person anyway. He wouldn't be evil and destructive like Obama, but, his foreign policy and how he deals with other countries, he'd be just as weak in my book. So that wouldn't be very good. But he'd be the only one that wouldn't be devastating to our Constitution. Just saying, it's the only one I believe that on the Democratic side that wouldn't. Every one of those other ones, they would totally destroy whatever Obama hasn't destroyed. The rest of that crew on the Democratic ticket right now would finish the job. I'm just telling you. Last thing tonight, this from the Washington Times. Less than a third of Obamacare exchange customers are satisfied with their plans, according to a survey released Monday that finds enrollees in the Signature Health overhaul are less happy than those covered through government programs or their jobs. So this whole notion that we needed the exchange and we needed Obamacare, hey, if you like your health care plan, and you like your doctor, you're going to keep it. You keep your doctor and your plan. And obviously none of that is true, and many people are running out there, going to the exchanges in places that they shouldn't have been able to get, go on the exchange because it was illegal. But the Supreme Court said, that law doesn't really mean what it says. It says, whatever we want it to say, and we think that it should say this. So, so they're not happy anyway, and yet we got most candidates on both sides of the political aisle are not really all that serious about repealing Obamacare. Now, I hate to tell you, even on the Republican side, most of them are really not that serious about it. No, you're gonna have to look. I'm going to tell you the truth. They're really look at their actions. I don't have to tell you a damn thing. Just look at their actions. They're just Americans are not happy with the way healthcare is going in this country. Overwhelmingly so, they're not happy about it. And you got a bunch of politicians, well, we can't really do this or this or this because, and the Republicans are thinking that they're just going to lose if they get rid of it. Well, let me tell you something. You guys are going to lose if you don't. And, what we're doing to Medicare and Medicaid and the VA, Veterans Administration, healthcare-wise, should be enough to convince everyone, except the most diehard of liberal nonsensical idiots, that government involved in healthcare is the worst possible idea. And I'll talk more about the VA again tomorrow. But people just don't like government involved in their healthcare. And I got to tell you, I don't blame them. Well, that sound means that I'm out of time for tonight. We'll be back here, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, this is Rod Eccles. You've been listening to The Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.